Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, no matter where you are in the world. I'm glad you're here at Sheetmetal TV on YouTube and Sheetmetal Unleashed on the audio platforms. So, hey, I've got a great show today, episode, whatever you want to call it. I've got a good friend of mine, Eddie Rich. We've done a few things in the past together, and he's our guest today. And he's going to tell us his story and where he is and what he's doing next. And it's great to see him. I haven't seen him in a while, so I'm probably excited. So I'll have to, hold on to my seat. But let me bring him in here, okay? Eddie,
What's
how are
going
you,
on,
man?
Kenny? Good, brother. Yeah, make sure you hold on, man, because the excitement, it's here. It's here. It's
I
time for
know.
the main event.
Hey, man. Man, it's been a while, dude. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Um,
it has. It's been geez, 4 years.
yeah.
2020, I think, was the last time. Just before COVID, I think, sometime in February
Yep.
or March of
Yeah, that's
2020.
right. Yeah. Yeah, because I think I took off over to New Zealand to see my mother during
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah, you did.
So, yeah, man, it's been a while and things have changed, right? So you're doing little things um and I've got to say congratulations, man. And I'll let you tell us about all that coming up. So I I wanted to get you on here because man, when you're a customer of mine, you're a tough customer, but you were really good. You guys did a great job and always kept me on my toes and keeping me looking deeper into things, right?
Right.
So I appreciate that, and I appreciate that about a lot of customers because it always keeps you learning and thinking. So, Eddie, give us a background, how you got into fabrication, what started this journey for you, and yeah, take it away, buddy.
Yeah, brother. Well, just to kind of come back to what you were saying, that iron sharpens iron. So, um, it's a good thing whenever you have a customer of yours that challenges you, because it makes you think and it makes you learn. So not only were we learning from you, you were learning from us, but we both grew stronger, and I'm probably more wise because of it. Um, I'll say that I grew more wise. My wife, she might not agree with that, but she's not here to deny it. So we'll just stick with I'm a little more wise because of it. Yeah, I started in sheet metal 2000 um, 2006, somewhere in there. Um, yeah, godly, almost 20 years. Unintentionally. I just kind of was a punk kid, just jumping from job to job. Um, Married, working at a cutting down trees, doing storm cleanup for a tree company. Tree fell on me, almost killed me. I shattered my left and right hip, broke my left leg, pulled my tailbone from my spinal cord.
Mm.
Doctors say, "Oh, if you ever walk again, it'll at least 2 years," and I've never been one to believe what a doctor says. I mean, I think that they have knowledge, but you can never. If you take the word of what people say, then you're just bound to live by what people say. I want to write my own destiny. So 2 months later, I was walking, not running, barely walking,
Yeah.
but I was walking. And the very first thing I did that actually changed my life around, brother. I went to a company here in local Cardinal Metalworks. Um,
Yep.
Asked for a job there as a temp operator. I didn't care what I was doing. I just needed to get my act together to be able to support my wife and myself and have a life, you know. And that kind of started my journey into sheet metal, working in the shipping department of a sheet metal company locally. I ended up working there 15 years. Made my way up from, like I said, a temp, entry level, just doing what nobody else wanted to do, but always with a smile on my face. You always have a lesson to learn, you know. I went from there to running the punches. We had Trump punches there. I ran one of the manual run punches, and then I went from that to running the automated punches, and moved on to the lasers, my passion, my joy right there. Went back to punches for a little bit, back to press brakes, learned press brakes, did all of that, went back, ultimately became supervisor, project manager, lead over the department. I carried a lot of responsibilities, programming, using Radan and Trump software for programming the lasers and the punches, and just kind of dabbling in the engineering side of things as well. And a good friend of mine, I had my father died in 2019, December 2019, and had a little controversy with the GM at the shop that I was at for, at that point, 15 years. And he straight up told me, since it wasn't my blood, that I wasn't going to be able to get time off work. And I didn't agree with that. So I turned in my notice. And it's kind of weird because I think that, you know, God works in mysterious ways. We never know what's around the corner. We never know what he has in store for us. We don't know. But a good friend of mine, somebody that I didn't want to say sold us some software called Radan, calls me. He's like, "Hey, Eddie, I know a guy in Charlotte that he could use a little bit of help. You might be able to help him out a little bit. You know, talk to him, just kind of help him get their shop, you know, better running, more efficient." I was like, you know, I think I do. And Dean, I got to thank you for that. I thank you for that phone call, because that struck in my mind. You know what? You got to do better. You got to do more. You're never going to excel. You're never going to be anybody if you just keep standing here punching the clock day in and day out. And so that's in 2020 January, I opened my business, ER Manufacturing Consulting, and I went to that company that you talked to me about. I had 3 other companies lined up. I was working with them for all of January, February, March, and just into April when COVID hit. And when COVID hit, everybody backed out from under me. I had one other customer 6 months down the road contacted me back and wanted me to come in, and they offered me a job on the spot. I turned it down because I didn't want to move to Georgia. The company I was working for in Charlotte, they offered me a job. I turned it down because I didn't want to move to Charlotte. My roots are here, local. This is where my wife is from. This is where all of her family's at. I'm not gonna uproot her, and I'm a family guy, so I like cookouts in the backyard and spending time with family. I can't do that if my wife and I are the only 2 people in the area, you know. Family's family, you know. Friends are friend, and friends are not really your friends, you know. You have a small handful of people that you can truly say are friends. But yeah, that's I did that. Helped that one company the first month I was there. I helped them bring in more in that 1 month, put more out the door than the entire previous year. So it's all about efficiency, productivity, making sure things are running smoothly and as efficient as possible. That's another of my passions. That and lasers. I love them. I love nesting. I love everything related to it. So yeah, that's April came, COVID came, everybody rug pull, everything. I was able to save up enough in those few months to where I was okay for pretty much the remainder of the year. And then I went to another sheet metal shop at the end of the year. I worked there for 6 months, went to Corning. I'm like, oh yeah, my grandfather retired from here. I can retire from here and make good money. And yeah, money is good, but then rotating 12-hour shifts, man, it's just something about your 23rd day straight on a 12-hour shift, man. It's it gets to you. It kind of it kills your soul a little bit, you know.
Oh yeah.
All the while going back to school, and I decided it took me 3 years, almost 3.5 years, to get a 2-year degree, because juggling my 12-hour rotating shifts and then trying to go to classes when I can. My instructor, Jason Randall, amazing teacher at Cape Fear. I could not have done it without him. He helped me tremendously. You know, we worked through it. 3.5 years. I had my graduation 3 weeks ago. I walked across the stage, and it was a good feeling because I didn't even graduate high school. I went and got my GED. It was pointless at that point in my mind. I thought it was silly. So, again, young, stupid kid, jumping around job to job, doing what I wanted to do, man. But yeah, that's I got a call from HMF Express where I'm at now 6 months ago, and I've been with them in an engineering position, research and development, nesting, working with the team, helping this team grow. And it's honestly, I can't say how much I miss doing something where I have a passion in it, man. I don't wake up dreading having to go to work, and I don't go to bed dreading having to get up the next day. So it's nice to not just be a button pusher, to be somebody that I've worked myself to become across the last 18 years. So that's my story, man. I'm sticking to it.
Man, that's good, man. So, like I said earlier, congratulations on that, going back to school. And that's why I tell these guys, I tell these young kids that are 17 or 18, 19, getting out of high school and taking a break and messing around and playing around. Hey, you can do that. That's fine. But you know what? You can always go back to school and get a degree if you want to get a degree, or get in a trade and do a trade,
That's right.
There's nothing holding you back in manufacturing, and there's companies everywhere that will even do apprenticeships nowadays.
Yeah.
I just seen one the other day for a tool and die apprenticeship for a young fella. Now, you think about it, a young fella doing a tool and die apprenticeship, they'll probably come out of it making 50 to 75,000 a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's nothing to shrug your shoulders at.
That's right.
You just gotta focus a little bit, man. So, but congratulations on your degree, man.
Appreciate it, man.
That's awesome. So, well, was there so when was there a moment when you absolutely wanted to stay in this industry? What would that be, when you're at the Corning job? You decided to go back to school and be like, nah, this industry is for me?
Honestly, it was when I left Cardinal Metalworks and started my own business. That's the defining moment, I believe, for me. It's when I really realized how much I had a passion for it, and this is kind of what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. The rug pull kind of shattered me, though. What that did to me was it made me scared. Let's just be real about it. I'm scared because I have a family to support, of going out and doing it again, and then something else happening that's beyond my control, and losing it all again. So that's a hard one to overcome, I believe. But that was leaving and starting my business was the defining moment for that. Going through and going back to the beginning at the other sheet metal shop for 6 months, that embedded more into me that this is what I need to be doing, not that. Then Corning just it just kept reaffirming it. It's like you're nobody here. You try to advance and you can't advance because it's about who you know there, and it's not about what you know or how well you do things. It's a buddy system there at Corning, and buddies are always promoted ahead of anybody that's 10 times more relevant in the field than they are. So that's just the unfortunate reality of it, which is, like your mom and pop shops. You have buddies that can advance because of who they know. And all the while you're sitting back here with knowledge, and somebody else is just kind of going around you that knows nothing but someone.
Yep. And so you've got so you went back and you did the I think you said it was a mechatronics.
Yeah, mechatronic engineering. I actually went back, and when I first signed back up, I signed up for mechanical engineering. because that's geared more toward, I think, this side of things. And speaking with Jason, the head of the program there, he kind of said some things to me that made sense with going to the mechatronic side of things. It's the study of robotics. It is the study of, it's the future. Robotics are the future of the industry. A robot doesn't replace people, it promotes people. People don't get that. People think, oh, robots are going to come and they're going to take my job. No, they're not. They're going to, if you're the right person and you have the right mindset, they're not going to take your job. They're going to promote you, because these robots have to be programmed. These robots have to be maintained. The thing that I didn't really understand until the last probably year of the program was the mechatronic side of things is geared more toward being a tech op. So somebody that's repairing or installing robots. And that's not really what I'm wanting to do. I can build a robot. Yay, great. I want to design the robots. I want to be the person that's programming these things, that's making them work. I don't want to necessarily be the person that's in the grease, getting dirty every day. I don't mind it. I'll do it if I've got to, but I'd much rather follow my passion and use my mind when I have it to use,
Yeah, but we've done that part. We've been in the grease, right?
Yes, yes.
It's our time, I know you're probably 25, Eddie, but I'm 50 this year, man. But I'm like, I don't know if I can roll around on the floor and weld things up upside down anymore. You know what I'm saying?
It's the hat. The hat makes me look younger. That's what it is. That's all that it is, Dean. I just turned 44 in May 3rd. I just turned 44.
Nice.
But it's I never would have took you for anything over 36, brother. That's yeah.
I know. Hey, that's good. So how do I want to talk about how the shop floor meets engineering desk, because I started on the shop floor, program lasers at the controller, moved up, got into design engineering and all that. And now I sell manufacturing equipment, right? And I love it. I love robotics. I just love helping people. But how do you balance design intent with real world manufacturing? How do you?
I think that that's actually one thing that I have a very strong opinion on. I think that there's a huge gap when it comes to the shop floor and the front office, right? So the people on the floor, they don't know what we do as engineers. They don't know the work as much as we do. They think, oh, they sit at an office all day and they just type on a keyboard. I know that's what they think, because that's what I thought,
Yeah.
And then us as engineers sitting at the computer, we're like, all they got to do is push the button. Oh, they got to, we don't really realize all the work that goes into them. So I think there is a huge rift between the shop floor and the engineering department. And I truly believe that if we could build a relationship, a bridge is kind of how I've always put this. We need to build a bridge between the two departments. And when we do that, and when there's communication, and when I am willing to listen to the operators and what they're seeing every day, the problems, and help them fix their problems. And if they're willing to listen to me and help me help them, then I do believe that bridge is formed, and now everything just kind of starts going together with the manufacturing side of things and the engineering side of things. It's all too often that the person on the floor is like, my voice isn't heard, so what's the point? And it's an unfortunate reality. That's definitely something I would challenge any GM, any plant manager, any engineering man, anybody in an office. Don't look down on the people on the floor, man. They have great ideas. They have fantastic ideas. They do this every day. They are the technical experts, and we've got to listen to them. We've got to open up a bridge of communication, man.
Agreed. Would- we actually, they're our customers, right? So
Absolutely
um,
right. Yes,
e- engineering had you, the owner of the company or the higher ups, you're their customer. They got to get you the information, everything like that. It all go hands in hand in hand, and yeah, I think and there's a lot of good guys. I was I actually met a person from South America who runs a welding robot loading parts, and in South America he was an actual civil engineer,
wow,
and so you really don't know until you start to get to know people,
that's right.
and you'll be like, dude, this guy's got a brilliant mind. This makes my job easier, right?
Yes, yes,
That
yes.
that's the thing. Yeah. So, have you ever had to redesign a part because it was too difficult or expensive to fabricate?
Um,
Oh,
uh, yes. A couple of different occasions. Um, a lot of it's going to be more in understanding the way the parts are bent, if you will.
mm-hmm,
So it being too difficult to make, meaning collisions and whatnot with the machines, or the same as with in the flat when you're cutting on a laser or punching. If it's many holes in it for heat distribution, and now we're punching it and we're using a single punch, and now the part's warping up, and figuring out how to ways to go about making it so that now you have a flat part, but you can have the same similar situation, or using fly cutting on the lasers so that they're not taking as long to process, um, and making a much flatter part because there's not as much heat, because they're not leading into every feature that's on it. And of course, these are all uh, item specific.
yeah.
Many different ideas or whatnot. But as far as re-engineering, yeah, I mean it happens quite often, but it's never just from my mind that things are re-engineered. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not just at work. It's I mean I do woodwork as well. I build cornhole boards. I build pretty much anything related to wood, and it's here as well. I'm always having
Yeah.
to re-engineer and redesign my own designs and my own jigs and templates and stuff like that, because I truly feel like if you growth change is necessary to grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if you've been doing something this way for the last 20 years. There's always a better way to do it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody has an opinion on something, and when you're learning how to do something, the best thing to do is to learn from many people and then take everybody's way of doing it and then make your own way of doing it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you get little snips and pieces of what everybody does, and then you can find a way to make it so that you can work smoothly with it, flawlessly with it. But yeah, that's I think if my answer to that was no, I've never had to re-engineer anything, then I don't think that I would be a good engineer or good at manufacturing, because that should be everybody's mindset: is how can I make this better?
Mm, mm, mm-hmm. Um, now it. I know you work with CAD, CAM software, and probably some sort of simulation tools. Um, and this, we're not brand specific on this channel. Okay, so I'll get that out there. I sell equipment, but we're this channel is to highlight and put a spotlight on manufacturing and talk to shop owners and fabricators. So, um, which ones do you prefer? Right?
I probably, as far as our 3D software, I use predominantly Fusion 360.
Mm-hmm.
I've got that, and I personally own SolidWorks as well, and I prefer Fusion 360 only because I think I'm more um, familiar with it. It's the interface is similar but different, and just enough to where it's a little more difficult to find things in the SolidWorks. But I prefer, I think, Fusion 360 right now,
Yeah.
which would be right there with what Inventor. Um,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Now,
Um,
are you using that in part of your cornhole boards and stuff like that as well when you do
yeah.
your?
Yep.
Okay.
I have a couple of different designs that I've drawn up in Fusion 360 um, for 1x4 builds or plywood builds or 2x4 builds. And then I use another software, vinyl ECR, ECN, something like that. I bought it with my 3D printer, but I use that one for the vectorization for the images. Um, and I'll cut out a vinyl for my images, and then I'll put them on the
Yep.
boards, and I'll stain them or paint them, and then I'll take the vinyl off and put another vinyl overlap, and just repeat the process. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, it's I do use the Fusion 360 for that, and I really enjoy using it for making jigs and templates.
Yeah.
Um, you can really repeat the process over and over again when you have a jig for something, and it should come out the same every time.
Nice. Nice. Um. Now, how? So, in your new job, you guys are running different machinery there. What kind of equipment do you run? Do
Yeah,
you run lasers, punches,
we
routers?
we only use lasers at the specific facility, but the other facilities that we have around the United States, they are all punches.
Okay.
So our shop is the only one with lasers. We have a Trump 1030, Trump 2030. Both are fiber lasers, and then we have Amada punches at our other facilities,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which I've never ran Amada punches, but I've ran Trump punches, and I I'm pretty sure that a punch is a punch and a laser is a laser. The concept is the same across no matter what the brand is or the label is that's on the side of it. It's the same concept. So as long as you can understand the
Mm-hmm.
fundamentals of it, the basics of how they work, you can learn that machine. It's just like this. The company that I went to work for in Charlotte, they had an Amada laser. I've never touched, never seen an Amada laser, but I've ran Trump lasers enough to where I went there. I took their book for their machine home one night, studied it, and went back the next day and taught them how to use the machine.
Yep.
So because I understand the basics of lasers, and
Yep.
that's just where it starts. Everything has to start from the basics, from the foundation, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's there you go.
Good. Good.
Uh, other
Um.
other sorry,
No, go for it.
yeah, the lasers we have, we our software team where I work at is phenomenal. I think we use our own softwares, or we create our own software, but we integrate it with a company called Metallics. So we use their
Mm.
software for the nesting side of things, and these guys, I got to give a shout out to them. They are amazing. They just dropped me something I'm being a guinea pig for right now. I'm not going to call out any names of anything, but it has taken half, let's say half the time of nesting away from me, just with the fluidity of the software. So that's phenomenal to me. I can't thank them enough. I can't thank them enough. So if they're watching this, if they ever will, I'm sure they will, because I'm gonna let everybody know about the podcast. But
Yeah. Yeah.
amazing job. Which goes to show that what we are talking about earlier in manufacturing in general, that if you don't keep things open to where you're always thinking about what can be better and how you can change things, you're just going to stay where you were 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. Um, so I wanted to talk about skills and problem solving, and because we got younger guys coming up as well. So I think this will be great to get some inside stuff on this here. So what are some underrated skills every fabricator or engineer should have?
Underrated?
Yeah, yeah, tough.
Um, Honestly, I just think the ability to be open minded about something.
Hmm.
Um, that to me is a huge. I mean, I don't know if you would consider that a skill. I think that I do.
I would. I mean, attitude is a skill. I
Attitude
reckon.
is
If you
absolutely
coming in
yes,
with a good attitude is that
yes.
makes that trumps everything.
I think
Really,
so. I
sometimes.
think so. And I think the ability to be humble, man. You're not always right. Yeah, you can be right 9 times out of 10, but there's that one time that you're going to be wrong. And to just be able to be humble and reflect on yourself at the end of the day and be like, okay, I made this program earlier and uh, it crashed. Why did it crash? Was it the operator or was it my program? Was it something that I did wrong? What did I miss a step? Just being able to reflect on what you've done and make yourself a better person. I think that's going to get you further in life in general than any skill set of any field of anything, because that's going to help you grow personally.
Yeah.
It's going to make you a more personable person as well, that people are going to want to interact with you, which is going to give you more opportunities to be around more people and actually learn who you are. Who you are.
Mm,
Is this really what you want to do? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But if you
yeah.
don't reflect on it at the end of the day, you'll never know if it's what you wanted to do. You'll just, no, this is what I've been doing. So that's what it is.
Yeah. I
Yeah, be open minded and humble, reflect. Um, your normal skills that people think math or being able to cut a line straight or that's all going to come. That'll all come. It's your, like you said, it's your attitude in general is going to be the biggest thing to help you through things.
Oh yeah. The math. Don't worry about that. That'll come on the job, man,
We
because
got
you'll be thinking
calculators, baby.
fast. Yeah. I
That's what
mean,
Dean's for. He's going to give us a software that's going to
mhm.
calculate everything for us. He's going to sell us something.
Oh man, look, I did basic mechanical engineering trade at Polytech in New Zealand, and I hated calculus, man. I'm like, man, come on, let's just do the good stuff. And
Right?
but when you're out there on the floor or in the office designing stuff, that calculus comes back pretty quick when you got
It
to,
does.
you're the only one there, and you're like everybody's waiting on you and relying on you, right? It comes
Yep,
back pretty quick, so
it
you learn
does.
it pretty fast. It don't
Trial
matter.
by fire, right?
Yeah. Um, so, I had another question here about how do you approach troubleshooting the process, but I think you touched up on some of that,
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Just keeping an open mind about it and being able to um, go back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning. If you're troubleshooting, you don't want to start in the middle of the process. You have to go back to the beginning. And honestly, the 5 whys that teaches you right there the best way to troubleshoot something. Just keep asking yourself why. What happened? Well, the machine crashed. Well, why did it crash? Because the part tipped up. Okay, why did the part tip up? Because the tabs weren't big enough. Okay, why weren't the tabs big enough? Because the software wasn't proper. Oh, wait, because the material was too thick. So, you know what I mean? So it
yeah,
brings you back and it gets you back to the root of the problem. Troubleshooting, you want to get to the root of the problem. You don't want to just put a band-aid on something. You want to be able to
yeah,
resolve the problem.
yeah, yeah. And don't be scared to push a button. Find out
Oh,
what it does, man. I
no
mean,
guts, no glory. Andy King, I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if you remember Andy Kings. He was the plant manager at Cardinal Metalworks the entire time that I was there, and I learned a lot from the man. I truly admired Andy. He had his ups and his downs, bad and good, but so do I. But I learned a lot from him. I
think we went to lunch one day.
we did.
Didn't he? Because you all went mountain biking down here in the Carolinas, in Charlotte, I believe.
That was me and Shay. Shay and I went
Okay.
mountain biking all the time. But yeah, no, Andy was he's a fisher. You'd know him if you saw him. You'd remember him. But
Yeah,
when he first asked me, on like after a month of being at Cardinal Metalworks, he's like, "Where do you see yourself here?" And that's a good question. You know, a lot of people they underrate that question. Where do you see yourself here? And I was like, I see myself running that machine right there. Talking about the punches, I was fascinated by him. Right? He's like, "Good luck with that. That ain't never going to happen." I mean, sarcastic and everything, but that was Andy King. You had to understand his personality. And I was like, okay, I got you. So I want to say not maybe 6 months later, I was on a punch. And he comes back up to me. Where do you see yourself at? I see myself running the lasers. We got lasers now. That's where I see myself. Good luck. You know, the owner of the company sits me down. He says, "Ed, where do you see yourself at?" You know, here I was like sitting in your chair. And he's like, "Well, we're not a publicly traded company, and I see myself running this company. That's you know, you gotta see yourself in the future. You gotta,
and you gotta take that leap, man. And
you do.
Because I remember, you know, I think I was 18 when I started working in the shop, and I come out of school doing certified welding. I learned the basics, started at the bottom, and then and we had a big job coming to weld up some bridges in New Zealand and build some bridges to go out and some iron work and what. And we had some certified welders and they failed their test, you know, 2 or 3 of them. And I remember there's a guy who used to work for, he managed a company for Alan McGregor and this guy's name was Ian McKenzie. And he's like, come out, he was frustrated. And he's like, I was cleaning up the break room because I was the youngest guy in the shop. So my job was to clean up after everybody had break. So they'd drink their cups of tea and then go back to work, and I had to do the dishes, right? But Ian McKenzie come out. I was washing the teacups for the boys, and he's like, Dean, you think you could pass a welding test? And I said, sure, man, no problem. And, you know, all these welders have already failed. And I'm like, yeah, easy, piece of cake. And he said, if you pass, I'll give you a pay raise end of the week. I said, all right. And I passed, man. I was like, but yeah, sometimes you just got to go and do it, right? It's all about your mindset and attitude.
Yeah. And that goes back to what I started about Andy King. That's what he told me. I was like, you know, what do I do? You know, when I was at the punches one day, he's like, hey, no guts, no glory. And I'm like, that's solid. That's solid. Yeah, that's great advice. You're gonna mess something up. You're gonna break something, okay? But as long as you learn from it. It doesn't have to be a catastrophic failure. You know, don't do something that you know is going to blow up the machine. You know,
Yeah.
But you know, you got to be open to trying. You know, that's how I learned G code and M code was standing at the punch, programming it manually. What does this do? Putting something in, hit start, watching it go. You know, so no guts, no glory. You've got to be willing to take that jump and do something. You got to be willing to try it.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, because it's so funny because we all rely on software,
We do,
you know, to program these machines, and because some of us have taken the time to learn how to manually code them, right? We were able to if the software license went down, you were done unless you had programs already saved and ready to go, right?
Yeah.
But being able to create a multiple part program at a machine manually is pretty good. But because you never know, computers and software, man, you never trust that thing.
No, you don't.
Right?
You don't.
Now, do you prefer designing from scratch or improving an existing process or something like that?
Probably probably improving an existing process. I do lack the um, what's the word I'm looking for here? The ability to be creative with something new, right?
Hmm.
So like just to have ideas of what new to make or what to create or whatever. But I do feel like I'm pretty decent when it comes to improving upon something that's already there.
Yeah.
So as long as the concept is there for me, or the idea is there, I believe I would much rather improve upon it.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, now here's this will be a nice one. I like this. I think because we all have something that is underused or underrated in the shop. So, what's one tool or process you think that is underused in most shops today? Since you've been in a few different shops and around.
Um, Again, it's not a tool either. I would say communication, man.
That could be
I'm,
it too. I
I'm
mean,
probably not giving you the answers that you're wanting,
no, no,
brother,
no,
but
no,
I feel
no.
like communication is the one tool that it's just lacking, severely lacking. And that's I kind of hit on that earlier, talking about the gap between the shop floor and the front office. If there's communication there, then that bridge is there, and then things run much more effectively. But very rarely will you see the communication there that should be there. Communication is key in marriage, in friendship, in everything. Communication.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think or teamwork. I think teamwork is also another one which could be along the same lines of communication, but um, I think finding somebody that you can work well with, uh, even without communicating with them, to be honest with you, is very rare. Something that people don't
yeah.
probably haven't
Do,
even encountered it before, to be honest with you.
Agreed. I've worked with one guy years and years ago, and we I ran a machine, and I used to run second shift, and he didn't speak much English, but he when we ran that machine, it was like clockwork, man.
Hmm.
Me and him just knew we were on sync, right?
Yep.
Uh, and that was good. And he knew I'd be turning around and laying out a cabinet or something. He'd run up and quickly change the machine, do it, load another program, and we kept that thing going all day, man.
Hmm.
And yeah, yeah.
I think
So
I've probably encountered three people like this with me personally. My wife is one of them. She and I have always worked together. We
hmm.
worked at Cardinal Metalworks together for every bit of 10 years before I left. And we everywhere. Worked at casinos. We've always worked together. We work well together, but it's like we just know each other well enough that we don't even have to talk. Like we are right there working around each other. And two of my good friends, one guy I just met at Corning, Nick. He and I can't even. We have refined processes at Corning in our department so well that we could literally get our numbers and only be on the floor for 15 minutes and then gone for 2 hours, and
Hmm.
then come back for 15 minutes and then gone for 2 hours. So it's just I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. I guess maybe naturally one person being able to lead and one person being able to follow without talking about it. You don't even have to talk about it. My buddy Shay, you know Shay.
Yeah, I know.
He and I are the same way. Like there's little communication, little talking because we know each other so well, and we know how each other works. We have the same mindset when it comes to working.
Man, I haven't seen Shay in a long time, man. He's going to have to come on here now.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
what? What about your wife? Is she still over at Cardinal or?
She left. She actually hurt her back and her hip, so she's got
Okay.
bad arthritis in her hip now, and they're still trying to get that managed. She's had 3 surgeries on her hip. She's had multiple injections in her back. So she's been out for 3 years. She hasn't worked in 3 years now.
Okay.
But yeah, she's still fighting me. They're still arguing with me all the time. I don't know. That's a wife thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, women are tougher than us, though.
Hey, look,
we come down to something and we got the man flu, buddy. We're out for weeks on end.
Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Nah. Well, that's good, man. I wish you well.
Yeah.
So, let me shop stories and challenges. Well, we've been all over the place anyway tonight, but can you share a story where shop knowledge helped solve an issue you were having, an engineering issue, a programming issue?
Yeah, honestly, very recently is a pretty good one. Just shop knowledge of understanding the lasers and how they work. We're working with a new software, so we're having to change the naming convention of our programs. So we start sending them out to the floor, and the guys are reporting back. They're like, "Hey, man, this isn't good. The program name's too long." And I'm like, "Okay, it's interesting." And then it kind of turned into we're adding a decimal in the program name, and it's because of the decimal. Okay, why are you saying that? And they're like, "Well, it's because we've had this before when such and such was programming. All of their nests were like that, and they'd have to redo them. They won't run." And I was like, "Okay, well, I tell you what, I'm not too sure. How about the next time you get it, let me know. I'll come out here and look at it." So I went out there and I looked at it when it happened, and they can literally just reset the machine. It gives them an error. They reset the machine, and then they hit play on the machine, and it runs the program. I'm like, okay, well, that right there eliminates it being a program problem. Well, can we have the error? Let's delete the program and re-download it. So we delete it, we re-download it, and no errors. Runs just fine, right? So now it's becoming a problem at the machine. It's not a program or engineering problem. There's something wrong with the machine. But the manufacturing knowledge comes from, I guess, ultimately knowing how big your file name can be, what characters are acceptable in your file name for your programs. Also knowing that if you can just reset the program and play it, it's probably not a program problem. And then if you can delete it and re-download it and it's fine with no errors, it's probably not a program problem. So that kind of just opened up the whole process of now we're researching why that one laser, not the other one. We don't have this problem with the other laser, so we're researching that one. Another issue I can think of is we're making cabinets at Cardinal Metalworks, and just understanding the process of how things work. When you take these shelves or you pull these shelves out, and sometimes they get hung up and sometimes they wouldn't. And it ends up being a thing where literally you think they're all the same, but if you take one of the middle shelves and you put it at the top of the rack, now the feature preventing it from coming off the rack is actually hitting the top of the rack as well. So now it just won't come out. So just understanding a little shelf, a stop bracket on a shelf, that they're all the same though. Why isn't this working? Oh, this is why it's not working. So there's a lot of them. My brain does not like calculating things from so long ago, to be honest with you. And most of them would have been back when I was actually on the floor doing work there. But I can tell you, there have been a plethora of them.
Yeah. Man, well, yeah, we hashed out a lot of problems back in the day when you were using
Yes,
Radan and going
yes, yes.
running a Mazak to a Trump, because all these machines are different. They all have their different little quirks, right?
Yeah, they are.
But no, but we've had some good times actually. That's with that stuff, man.
Yeah,
Um, so this brings us to part of the um, podcast, and that is what trends or technologies do you see shaping the future of this trade, our trade?
AI. I think that's going to probably um, change a lot when it comes to sheet metal manufacturing.
Mm. It
Um,
has already changed.
yeah, and you know what, Dean? Not just for our perspective of it from the engineering side, but um, from the sales side of things too, because these AI facilities, man, they require so much power, such massive facilities now, and in the actual manufacturing side of it as well. Somebody's got to build this stuff, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
these new plants open up, and they've got to have all these huge cabinets to route wiring and to do all of this. I mean, it's not just from the engineering perspective, but also from the sales perspective of things. AI is going to be huge, man.
yeah. And
A-
these data centers that they're building to do all this, that wind
yes,
power is not enough to power that stuff
yeah,
either,
yeah, that's right. The
right? So
microchips and stuff like that. Like it's man, it's the thing of the future. It's the thing of the future. Have you done anything with AI before?
I've messed around with AI quite a bit now. We have a merch store, and I do a lot of we've done a lot with AI on that. But I have also done certain um, calculations and small widgets, with AI for coding. I created how we used to create macros for Radan
Yep.
back in the day, right? So you know, I said this before in another podcast. I took AI and had that make the macro for me the other probably few months ago. I said, hey, look, go ahead, create a hole and array it at so many things, create me a PP macro, make it where I can make it as a pop-up macro in
Ah,
Radan. Yeah, so it's pretty amazing what you can do with AI.
yeah.
And I know I've had a few disagreements with people about AI because they think AI is going to take over everybody's job. It's not actually. It's probably going to help streamline stuff so we can be more competitive,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Um, and it's and this was years ago. Just think, I took somebody through a showroom and showed them a bunch of press brakes, and this was probably back in 2012, right? And showed offline bending software, and they're like, "You're taking away people's jobs." I
No.
said, "No, the people who set up machines can actually move up and promote within the system and do offline bending
Yeah, that's
and
right.
do the programming and streamline that. You're going to get more production because you're taking that off the shop floor, right? Speeding
Yeah,
that part up because, and now fast forward, right? Go from 2012 now, we're in 2025 and we're still struggling to find press brake operators. So we've not replaced jobs.
no, no. We've
Y-
we've actually more likely increased the need for more of them because now this offline bending can put out way more programs than the operator standing there trying to program them at the machine. So now we just need
Yeah.
more operators to be able to bend all of the programs that we're creating. I mean, it's it goes back to robots. Like I said earlier, AI and robots, they're one and the same, right?
Yeah.
This one guy, we were getting a welding robot at Cardinal, and he's like, oh, if we get a robot, I'm quitting. And he was, I think, one of our head welders, and I'm quitting. The robots are going to take over all our jobs. And it's like, but wait a second. If you quit, did the robot take your job or did you take your job? And sure enough, the day the robot showed up, he quit. And it's like, okay, so the next guy was there. We had to hire 2 more welders, I believe, to keep up with the robot, because you got to have somebody program it. You got to have somebody run it. Just because the robot's there doesn't mean that it's just going to automatically know what to do. You got to have somebody get supplies for it. You have to have somebody change supplies out. You have to have all it does is it creates the opportunity for one to succeed and excel. And the AI is going to be the same way. It's going to create opportunities for one to grow.
And it's going to keep us more competitive.
Absolutely right.
It's
absolutely.
like, we've got to. I mean, man, I think I read something the other day that they need like over 500,000 welders or more. They're looking for more and more every day. So that stuff's not going away. But I've been watching YouTube and some YouTube shorts, and there's some good welders out there. Some of these young guys, man, they're laying down some good welds, man.
Yeah.
I've seen some good, impressive stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty good. Now, any advice for young engineers or fabricators or operators who have never been on the shop floor, and what kind of advice would you give these guys, and especially young guys starting in this industry?
Keep your eyes open. Always just be observant. Be observant of everything. Take everything in. Take it in. Don't be so focused right here on your primary job that you don't see other opportunities that are growing around you. Just because you start as a temp in the warehouse shipping department doesn't mean that that's where you're going to end up. I never would have gotten where I am had I just make sure I pack this box in front of me. You have to do your job, but you have to also keep your eyes open. You have to keep your peripherals. You have to be seeing other things that are coming up, and you'll know quickly if what you're doing is something you enjoy, or maybe something else might catch your eye and you're like, that sounds interesting. But the only way you can get there is to get good at what you're doing here. So you have to prove yourself. It's nothing is going to be given to you. Nothing's going to be given to you. You have to be willing to prove that you are who you say you are. You can't go through life just faking it until you make it.
You got to want it, man.
You gotta want it. You gotta have that fire.
You got to want it.
Yeah.
It's and that's like I tell every guy. I was talking to a young guy and he wants to be a welder, and I said, go for it, man. Do it. I said, it doesn't mean you're going to be welding the rest of your life.
That's right.
You could go from welding to engineering to a software company to wherever, to being the head engineer. It don't matter.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's exactly right.
The only thing I say is start. Don't all you young guys out there, you want to do this, you want to do that, forget about all that. Just start. I don't care what it is.
No, that's right. That's right. You'll never do it if you don't start.
Exactly. So here's a good question. I'll be really interested to see what you ask for on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Favorite whiskey, Rabbit Hole.
Yeah. Oh well.
I don't think that's where you're going with that.
No, that's another one. But no. If you had an unlimited budget, what machine or tool would you buy first?
Personal life?
Yep, it could be personal, it could be whatever.
I would buy my own laser. Unlimited budget. That might be very short-sighted, but I just have a passion for lasers, and I've been looking into like lasers for your workshop or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I just know how I feel like I don't know. It would be a laser for me. It would be something where I could cut through plywood and engrave things with the on wood or on glass or whatever. So it'd be probably a laser.
Yeah,
That's my it's just where my heart's at, man.
yeah, mine too. I've had at one point I had one of the biggest laser engravers in my house, in Charlotte years ago, 100 watt. I got rid of that one, and then I got a 45 watt. But yeah, once you're in, this is it, man. Once you're
Yeah,
down this rabbit hole, man,
trust me.
you get buried in it. I've got a 3D printer sitting over on the other side of my office there as well.
Mine's sitting right here.
But I actually need an updated 3D printer. So yeah, so I need lots of likes and comments, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, what 3D printer do you have?
I got the Bamboo Lab P1S.
I'm so jealous, man. I'm like, dude, I'll get out of here.
Yeah, it's I don't. As soon as I bought this one, I couldn't see the reason to pay the price difference between this one and the next level up. They're basically the same machine, and then they released maybe 2 months later after I got this one, they released a new one which has laser nozzles on it, so it can literally engrave and cut metal and wood and all of that in the 3D printer. Has dual 3D printing nozzles, and it's like, oh man, I could, if I would have waited 2 more months, I could have gotten that. But you know what? It's I don't know. It's 3D printers. It's an amazing what a 3D printer can do, man. It really is.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's a good. This one, the P1S, is a solid unit, man. Right now, I'm still in the toy making phase of it. Making little articulating, I don't know, stuff for the kids, little otters, okay. Fidget toys and stuff for my workshop. That's why I bought it, to be honest with you, was so I can make. You can see my rack hanging up over here on the wall. Make stuff like that so that I can hang my tools up, and I feel like even with buying this, I'm gonna probably have spent less money doing this and printing everything than I would have just buying everything for the tools. But yeah, that's the laser will be the next. I was between this or laser was my thoughts, and I got this because it was less expensive. Yeah, that'd be the laser, man.
Man, well, hey, look, it's been awesome to talk with you, Eddie. And it's always good to catch up. We've done a lot of things over the years, and to see where you are now is awesome, man. And you're looking good, buddy.
Good. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
So, and I appreciate you taking your time, and of course your wife for letting you come and yabber on the online with me for an hour or so. So, but
she knows the life I live.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about that on Fabrication Nation radio, if you ever heard those guys. But yeah, the wives put up with a lot with guys who are in fabrication coming home with ripped and dirty clothes and smelly.
Yes,
So yeah. So shout out to all them wives.
Absolutely. At those days where you're having to clean this machine all day long and you're under it and you go home and you just smell like grease and sheet metal, it's those were the days. Those were the days. Yeah. Like you said earlier, we've earned where we're at right now. We've worked our way to this point. So yeah, she put up with a lot of it, that's for sure. But she knows where her bread is buttered.
I know, buddy. I'm glad to make it through 30 years of manufacturing and keep all my fingers, right?
Yes, same,
I'm
same.
like, great.
Yes. Not quite
Um,
30 years for me. I mean, I'm about 20 in now, but I'm still here, bro.
oh, man.
That would have made
Hey,
it difficult to type and make some programs if I
I know.
AI could have helped with that though. So
I know. Crazy, man. I'm going to let you hang out for a minute while I play out the outro, and we'll go
yeah,
from there. Guys, if you ever want to reach out to Eddie, get some advice on that and everything, let me know. I'll hook you up with Eddie, and that way, not everybody's bombarding Eddie with 100,000 emails. Just reach out to me. You can always go to www.sheetmetaltv.com and we'll take care of you. So I'll see you in a minute, Eddie.
yeah.
We'll get out. Thanks, everybody. See you shortly. We've got some other great guests coming up over the next few weeks, so I look forward to it. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Thank you for coming to Sheet Metal TV on YouTube and Sheet Metal Unleashed podcast on the audio platforms. Thank you. Have a great day.